Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Ball Gaming coming at you again with another deck profile. Today, coming at you with a deck profile, one of my favorite decks to play, honestly a timeless deck by my point, Bujin's. This was my very first somewhat competitive deck, but back then I'm pretty sure I was like running like 3 Tenki and 1 Yamato, because back then I was like buying random packs and stuff. I never bought singles, but that's all backstory of this deck. It was also one of the very first decks I really did well with, but this deck has really stayed with me a lot in my heart. I've sold it, I've traded this deck away so many times, but then I've just had that urge to build it back again. I think I've rebuilt this deck around 5 or 6 times now. But we're gonna go into it, starting off the main deck, of course, with our beautiful blue slayers. For the Beast Warriors, it's pretty simple, playing triple Yamato. He's your Searcher and your Foolish during end phase, so he's always useful. If you get Ashed, though, you just cry and surrender. Free Harume, I like playing Free Harume because, you always want to have one of this guy in hand. Either as, like, he can just be there, kind of like, say you just pass turn, it can almost be like a bait out. Like, say your opponent might be overthinking, thinking of a hand trap in your hand. It's actually a Harume, and next turn you can just Harume off. Then we're playing 2 Arasuda. He's just like he's like another Yamato basically. Basically, if you don't open with Yamato or Tenki, you just kind of gotta stop because you can't really do much exuberant plays, and then one need Kazushi. Uh, Thinking about bumping this guy up soon because there's a lot more destruction by card effects happening in the meta. So, after that destruction resolves, you get to special out Mikazushi, which is always useful. But we'll see what happens later. And then finally, for the arguably MVP, we have Triple Heroku. Um, Thinking about maybe bumping him down to 2 and then bumping Mikazushi up to 2. But that's just like, that's still in testing phase, so I haven't really tested that completely, but this is just like the build I'm currently comfortable running right now. Like during end phase, if you add a Bujin card from your deck to your hand while he was on the field, you add a Bujin spell or trap from your hand, you really only add an incarnation off of that. And then Arasuda, when his effect during end phase, if Bujin calls out from your deck to your hand, he gets to draw a card and ditch a card. So it's like a nice little hand cycle there. Small, graceful charity. So stats. Then for triple hair, I still play hair at 3 because I still play a Protector Castle build of Bujin. I understand it's not probably the best way to play it, it's just the way I find it most comfortable in playing, and who knows, maybe Konami might be like, well, let's bring Kaiser Colosseum back because whoopsie daisy snatch steal. Triple Crane. This is of course basically a searchable honest for the deck. Always useful. 2 total because targeting is extremely frequent in this meta. So it's always useful to have a targeting negation, and people forget what total does sometimes because you don't really use them that much anymore. 2 Krillin because of course targeting is back. 1 Sinew is an honest in graveyard. You just banish it and get the honest effect, and then your opponent takes half battle damage that turn, which kind of sucks. And then 1 Centipede. This is spell and trap removal. You can probably take this out for like an MST, or this is just a foolish MST basically. You can set it off Susanoo, Yamato, ditch it off of Arasuda, or send it off Susanoo, but this is just an MST basically. For our final 3 monsters, we're playing 1, 2, and 3 Honest, because why would you not play the best light support, one of the best generic light support cards of Honest in the game? Honest is just such a good card. It just helps beat over, and Honest plus Susanoo against like any big board is just game. It's that simple because he just attacks everything, and because Honest lasts till end of the turn, he's just massive, and you swing for an OTK, which can happen a lot sometimes because some people play battle traps now. Now onto the spell cards. We are playing Triple Tenki. This is your starter card besides from Yamato. You activate it, you search Yamato. You could go off from there. Free Carnation. This is like a pseudo kind of soul charge for Bujins. basically what it does is that if you control no monsters and your opponent controls a monster, you get to target one banished and one Bujin in your grave. You get to special summon both of them, but they must be used for an XZ summon of a Beast Warrior, Beast or Winged Beast type monster. They can't be used for any other XZ summon. So yeah, it's kind of restricted, but you know you can bring back your dead XZ monsters with this because there's no level restriction, obviously. So you can like bring back out a Banished Zwanwo and a Amaterasu just randomly. Those are like 2 examples I just picked. But you know, it could happen. Theoretically, could happen. Then we are playing 2 Duality. Playing 2 Duality because you have a few specials summons in this deck, but sometimes you just want to dig for that extra card, and you know it's a hard once per turn, so you know that sucks. And then 1 Foolish Burial. This is really any of your other Bujin effects, really. You send a Hare for protection. You send a target. You send a turtle for targeting protection. You send a centipede for like an MST, like equivalent for a monster pop. It's just standard stuff like that. Always good in a deck that based around graveyard. So not many spells. For the traps, playing a small little 2 strike, 1 warning, because that's really all we can afford to play, considering deck size, trying to keep it at 40, no 1 compulse. The reason I'm playing compulse is because it goes targeting's back, and there's just some things that you just can't run over with honest, and sometimes there are just threats on your board that you just want to compulse, or like say for an electromite on your opponent's turn, like either of these is a solid interruption for that if you went first, and yeah. So that's that. Main deck 40 cards. Honestly, so far in testing, this deck's good going first. Not really so much second because there's a lot of interruption going second, but you know that's just the way the game is. So for the Link monster, we're playing 1 on the Clock Taker. You can't really play him anymore. Like this is like the only really good Link monster we have until we get the generic down pointing light monster, which even then I don't think this deck would take much advantage out of that compared to other light decks. But you know, the 1 on the clock. Then for the Bujins, we have triples as Wanwo. You know, he's your main guy. He's a foolish and a search, and he can also attack everything, so he is really powerful. 3 Amaterasu, you can hard make him pretty easily in this deck. Sometimes with like mass summoning of Harume's, Yamato's, and Arasudas, and other stuff. He has an effect on your turn and during your opponent's turn. So during your turn, you get a special a banished, and on your opponent's turn, you add a banished. So what you can do is you can add back a banished crane with this, which is always useful. 2 Kagasuchi, I play him at 2 just because like those extra 5 mils can really help get in there, and then he gains 100 for every card that milled that was a Bujin card, so he can get maximum of 500 and minimum of 0. 1 Tsukiyomi, you don't really go into him much, you can really just cut him, but like, you know, it's a Tsukiyomi. You get to basically send your hand and then draw 2 cards. Minimum 1, of course, but sometimes if you brick, you can just make him and have your graveyard fucking loaded. That's your Bujin ones. Like, don't just playing generic stuff. Rebellion, he gets big. This Dweller, because fuck your opponent's graveyard. You don't want to play around that stuff. 1 Castel, again, out stuff, it's targeting. And then we're playing Utopia package because, you know, even with Suzwano honest in this deck, sometimes you might just be going up a deck that plays a lot of like battle phase kind of stuff. Like BA, you can just lightning attack into a Beatrice, bang, no Beatrice effect because you know it's battle and stuff. I think that's how it works. I'm not sure, not 100%. Don't quote me on that. I'm not a judge, but you know. So that's it. Standard 15 card extra deck. So that has been my Bujin deck profile for March 2018. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to, you know, subscribe, leave a like if you want to. I'm not forcing anything on you. Go ahead, do whatever you want. I'm cool with anything. Anyways guys, thanks for taking the time to watch this video. This has been Bubble Gaming with another deck profile, signing out once again. Bye guys.